Hi, Julie Torrens here. So I haven't given up on my bead journal, but I just know I have absolutely no more Masterboards. We've used them up. So I want to get started on some Masterboards. So what I have here is a 12 by 12 and it's printed on one side and it's white on the other, and I'll show you. There's the other side. Now, one thing is I like to do is I like to buy 12 by 12s pads, those paper pads. And I got this one. It was 48 sheets. Got it at Tuesday morning. Spent about $5 and I got 48 12 by 12s. The paper is, I guess, cardstock, but it is certainly a very light cardstock. But that's perfect for what I like to do. I like to make masterboards on them. The other side is got some design on it. And so when I'm doing things like tags or journaling cards, it's not just plain on the back, where I don't have to feel like I need to decorate the back, but I can work on the front. And being that it is, I'm working on the back, being that it is kind of a cardstock but light, adding the layer like I am today of book page on it, it still can hold its own. So that first one was a piece of book page. It looks like it was the footnotes or something. This that I'm cutting up now is from a cookbook, and it was one of those really old cookbooks that someone made. This one I know is made for a church because it said so inside, but sometimes they're made by, or were made by, high schools and things as a fundraiser, and people send in their old family recipes. And this one, someone hand typed this out. You can just tell it's a typewriter. And they, I'm just fishing through some of this book page. And they sold them. And so I think this one was made in the 50s or the 50s or the 60s. And I just love it. So this is a book page it's from the junior high section of the library. I got it from Friends of the Library, I think, or else I got it at I think I got this one from Friends of the Library. But because of the age range that it was designed for, I don't worry about bad words or offensive conversations in it like I can from others. I know people use books they get from the Dollar Tree. I'm not saying that's bad, but a lot of those, my experience has been, is that they've got bad words. Okay, now I've got 2 glue sticks open, so I guess I should be doing this with both hands. A glue stick in each hand, but no, I'm not that clever yet. I don't think I ever will be. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm just kind of working around the edge where I have these straight edges, but I don't put things on a diagonal. People do. Their work is beautiful. When I do it, I just feel like I'm kind of falling off the page. So I just tend to go either horizontal or vertical with my book page pieces. And I'm just using my little ruler to kind of cut the book up a little bit instead of hand tearing this time, just because it's easier, frankly, to put the pages on when there's a straight edge and you're working on the edges. But if I have to trim it up, it's no big deal. I realize you're kind of far away, but to get a 12 by 12 in the frame, I'm afraid I have to be out a little bit, and people, and including myself, when I'm watching a video, get disappointed when they can't see the whole project. So That's what I'm trying to do. Is just get the whole project in the shot. So what is going on in your world? What are you working on, or what's on your desk? I ask that question every time I'm here, and I rarely get an answer, but for those of you who do let me know what's on your desk and what you're working on, thank you so much. It's so fun. It's so fun to hear about, you know, what projects or what you're maybe gathering supplies up for. I enjoy it a lot. All right, this is another straight edge, so I'm heading for the straight edge top here. There we go. Boy, one thing about working like this, I've got some music note paper here. I think it's time to get it out. I really get my fingers gluey. There we go. Now, people have asked me, and if I've answered this question before, I'm sorry, but there's always new people. Where do I get music note paper? Well, whatever kind it is, I generally get it from thrift stores. I've never found any at Friends of the Library, but in thrift stores right now, I'm not saying today, but I bet there is today, they have more hymnals. And I think it's because churches are going to having their music on a screen instead of having it in hymnals in people's hands. I want to kind of mix things up a little bit here. So take a look, like I said, especially now in your thrift store, and if you find a hymnal or two, grab them. Grab one for you and one for a friend. I know I've been using one, and I've probably got, I would say maybe a third of it gone with projects like this, and I found another one at the thrift store that's even older than the one I had. The words, the titles of the songs are all in Old English font. It's really cool. But they're made hardy, you know, they're designed to sit in the back of church pews and be dropped and be folded and whatever else we human beings tend to do to books that don't belong to us. And then I do like to get things from Friends of the Library. I like it because most of the time, if it's a library book, it was either somehow destroyed. Maybe somebody took a highlighter to it or something like that, which doesn't bother me in the least. But more than that, it's books that they're taking out of circulation. Now, when I say Friends of the Library, it's just kind of a term in the U.S. Different libraries, even in the U.S., have different names for it. But it's a way that the library kind of makes a little bit of money on their books. I like it because, again, I'm saving a book from going into the dumpster. I'm keeping it out of the landfill, which, you know, it's important to me. And now that I have a grandson, it feels even more important to me, because what's he going to do when there's no place to put our trash because we're just making so much of it, and resources are just being eaten up. So anyway, I'm not trying to get political. These are just the things that go through my head when, especially when people question me about ruining perfectly good books. Well, if nobody checked the book out for 5 years, I think that the perfectly good part is up for question. Many times, the books I get from Friends of the Library are things like books on economics, because again, no bad words, cool graphs and things that are in it. You know, they put, like, you know, exploding pie charts and what have you, but they're out of date. The content is not relevant anymore. And so here I am grabbing 2 glue sticks again. So, you know, would you want to read a book on economics that was written in the 90s? you know, it's just too out of date. The information, I'm going to put this one in upside down. The information just isn't as valid as it was when it was printed. So we're moving along on this quite quickly, which I'm glad for. I'm still trying to keep it where you can see it, but I'm just moving it a little bit to make it a little easier on me to reach. One of the things on my personal wish list is a good, and when I say good, I mean a heavy acrylic ruler that I can use as a tear ruler, 12 inches. The ruler I'm using now is my Dilutions, and I love it, but it's only, I want to say 9 inches. Yeah, it's 9 inches. 12 inches would be just a little bit handier. Okay, we're just about there. We're getting there. Let's get, I'm just fishing through what I have here to try to get a little variety. I don't mind some margins, but I don't like it when there's just so many margins on my collage piece. Said a little bit's okay, but not too much. So yes, I'm still working in my bead journal. It's coming along. I love it. There really isn't anything more that I've done on it that you haven't seen. But as I say, I can just tell that I'm going to put this here. Just again, change it up a little bit. I just don't have any more Masterboards, and I love to use them. So I'm going to get a bigger piece off of this. I need to be on the table to get a good cut. That piece will get used. Can this go maybe this way? Yep. Fit that right in that corner. So we're going to be using some gesso. If you don't have gesso, white acrylic paint is fine. I'm just using gesso because number one, I have it. And number two, for making a video like this, it dries faster. And I'm hoping to get one of these boards done start to finish if I can. That's my goal. Let's get this right down here in this corner. I'm not folding over the edges. If anything hangs out, I'm going to go ahead and trim it off. All right, I need something that I don't have. I've got a lot of the same here. Okay. That's almost blank, and this is practically blank. That's okay. We'll just grab it right here. This piece will be used again. That's a good one. That's a good one for me to use when I am doing leftover acrylic paint. You know, when you're looking for a place to scrub off some acrylic paint that's left over that you have on your palette, and you don't want to just throw paper away or throw paint away like that. I'm piecing this part a little bit small, but you know what? That's okay. Probably should have done more of that throughout, but we're not backtracking now, folks. We are moving forward. This is music note up against music note. See, that's not my favorite thing to do. Let's grab another piece of something here. So I was having a conversation in a group that I'm in, and it's run by Becca Hilburn. She is a fantastic watercolor artist. She does comics and kind of in an anime sort of style, but she does a book series called 7-Inch Kara, and she has a Discord channel, and I was chatting with some people in there, and I follow her. I love what she does, but especially it is her watercoloring that I am particularly fond of. I'm looking. I've got just a tiny little square, so let's just get a tiny little piece here. And so I am just following her, and I had a chat with some people in the chat area, and we were talking about junk journals and watercolor, and it was nice, refreshing. Most of the people in her group are young, like teenagers or college age, which is cool, you know, and I'm old. I'm 65. Okay, I'm setting this one aside. I'm going to let it dry some. You can feel the wetness, even though I consider that a bit of a dry glue. I'm thinking and I'm talking and I'm walking and I'm chewing gum and it never works. Okay, let's get this back on here, and I believe I should be in the camera space, and we've got some small pieces here. Let's just get going. The reason why I'm doing another one is it really does need that much time to dry. And so, as I say, we may not get both done start to finish, but I believe we'll get one done. My air conditioning is running, and so that always makes it all the quicker for things to dry. There we go. I'm just using up some of the leftover pieces from the first go round. No sense in chopping up more if I have pieces that'll work. I just don't have room to store a lot of scraps and things. But you know what? I saw someone on YouTube. Who was it? Treasure Books. Natasha at Treasure Books. She opened a drawer. And that drawer was about, the size of a box. And that's where she throws all of her scraps. And I thought, that's something I could do. I could just get one of my Amazon boxes and just designate it for scraps. Now, she does not have her scraps all like sorted out like solids, and no. It was prints, it was solids, it was paper, it was cardstock, and she just had it in that drawer, and I thought, that's what I need to do. I can save some that way. When the box gets full, well, then it's time to pitch some or use some or something like that. Okay, got that corner done. Got another corner sheet here that I can use. My fingers are getting so sticky. Are you on any kind of servers like Discord? Discord is cool. You can meet up with, people of like ilk. I'm sure, I haven't looked because I'm in enough Facebook groups in, different categories that I'm already interested in. But definitely you can get some, fresh new perspectives in a whole different format. I've never been one to do Twitter, which is now called X, I believe, but not opposed to it. Just hasn't been on my radar. And I've got quite a margin on this, but I'm leaving it. Like I said, I don't mind some. This corner has a lot, but if I turn it over, it's better. Let's get this one glued up. But yeah, you can kind of chat with people. And they just kind of come in willy-nilly. It's not like it's a curated group of people, but they are members of the channel. And you cannot, well, some are public, but some are private, where you have to kind of talk to whoever's in charge of that, whoever created the space. And, you know, like Facebook, there's a little bit of a vetting process. And, you know, that just really helps to keep the spammers, the people that just only have maybe the desire to self-promote, but they don't really ever comment or promote on anybody else's things. Yeah, just like that. Just okay, this is a corner. See, I want to hoard it, but I don't have a box of corner scraps. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it into a edge scrap. And put it along an edge. I think Discord started out mostly with gaming people, but it has definitely spread out into a lot of other topics and a wide variety of subjects. If you like to get real political, I know there's political discords out there. All kinds of things. Yep. All right. Let's get some of this darker dictionary page. Dictionaries, old dictionaries is another thing that I find at the thrift store quite a bit. And like the one that I'm tearing right now, really old, really old. But it didn't even have a cover. Did they give me a discount? Well, no. But it was great. It is great. I love using it. I think another place you can look, I guess I don't really look for old books, because what I was going to say, in garage sales or estate sales, a lot of times books like that come out of people's libraries, they're maybe like, coffee table books and things that even for me can seem a little bit harsh to chop up. Now, I had a coffee table book that I bought at a thrift store that was one of the Kincaid, that artist. I think they called him something like the artist of light or whatever. But I found a coffee table book of his at the thrift store, and I took half the pages out and I've used them in collage, and the other half I have simply used. Where can we go with this? I have simply used to gesso up the pages, and it's an art journal for me. It's an altered book art journal that I do, mostly acrylics in it, some collage. I love it. Absolutely love it. He's passed, but I don't know what he would think about me using his book like that. Being an artist, he may think cool. You never know. All right. Music note paper is what it feels to me like we need more of. And let me go on the left-hand side of me and get some more scraps. Take this margin off. And let's get this piece put on. Do any of you look for books for collaging, book pages, maybe to use as glue books, things like that? And when I'm talking about glue books, I'm talking about the books that you use to glue like I am with your glue stick, and so that you're not getting glue all over your table. My fingers are getting kind of like that inky newsprinty kind of thing, and then when I put it on, I'm getting dark smudges. I really don't care, but it's something you have to be mindful of if you're working on a piece that maybe that just wouldn't be ideal. I'm just looking to cover this spot right here. I seem to have a 2 12 by 12 limit on how much I can do with glue stick and not stop and wash my hands, because they get to where you can't let go of anything. All right, let's see. Maybe I can put a little piece here. Many of you know how to collage, and you may just want to speed through this part. I understand. You don't hurt my feelings, but we're not stopping at just the collage part. We're going to put a second layer on. The other thing I have here are my, not all, but some of my ink sprays. So if you're wondering what you might want to have on hand for this little technique that I like to do, I really should get a card. I have cards. There, that'll help if I remember to use it. This is a recipe book page. I think I'm just going to hand tear it right here. Can this go here? No. It almost fits, but not quite. Put it right there, maybe. So I'm using an Uhu glue stick, and they come very highly recommended. I think it's fine. I don't find anything particularly special about it. See, like right now I'm getting glue lumps off of it, and it's not particularly hot outside. It's not hot at all. Sometimes I think maybe some of the things that trouble me about a glue stick is just that's a glue stick. If you don't want to experience that, you have to use a different kind of adhesive. Could be. I don't know. I'm using smaller bits in this one, so it's taking me just a little bit longer. That's okay, right? I'm here in good company, so not going to worry about it. Okay. This piece has a tear in it, but I kind of wish it didn't. But I'm not going to fuss with it. Let's get this on. See what I mean? I can't let go. Oh. Oh, now this one is pretty much done. We'll just set that aside. Get this up before it glues itself to the book. There we go. All right, got a few more spaces here, I see. And my left-sided scraps are gone. So I'm gonna take a little margin off of this. Now I'm sticking things to other things that without meaning to. Oh, folks, I'm a shipwreck. See, stick, stick, stick. All right. That should get us a few more bits on. Is this the one that's good? Yes. Okay. Get this right here, maybe. All right. Are you hanging in there with me? God bless you. I'm so happy. Ooh, that side's better. I changed my mind on that one. I turned it over because the part I was gonna glue on didn't seem as good as this side to me. I've got just a little bit peeking out there. Let's just take this little edge and cover that up before I forget it's there. That'll take care of that. Little one there. Got this little scrap. We can put that here. Ooh, I didn't get it all. Still didn't. There we go. Okay. Now we've got these little bits here. Got a little rectangle space here that I'm going to cover up. We're going to be doing more on top. So when I have blank places, but they're still book page covered, it'll be all right. For this particular application, it'll be fine. Okay, a little more music note paper maybe. Well, I've got some dictionary here. What can we do with this? Yeah, that'll be fine. I know it's a bit of an odd shape, but that's just adding to the interest. Okay. Let's get some of this. Got a bigger space right here, and we can just cover that right up. Let me know in the comments what your favorite glue stick is and why. Looking for small pieces. As I said, the second one, I used more small and irregular pieces than the first one, but that's okay. There's that. Now we just have this little corner space, and there's not much of this. Ah, I like that. Now I don't think we'll get to cutting these, but I will go on a video when I cut it. Maybe it'll be a short video, but probably won't. It'll probably be one that I cut, at least cut one and then use it. Because like I say, I don't make these things and store them. Although Gayle Agostinelli, she has a pretty cool way that she does masterboards in larger like catalogs and things. And what she does is she just leaves the catalog or the magazine, but they're not just plain old magazines. They're like, oh, I want to say one of them she had was like a cruise ship folder with pages in it, and you just work your collage on those pages, and then you just tear out a page when you need it. That would be easy to store, I would think. Haven't tried it yet, but I would think. All right, I need one more piece. Can I just use something I already have? That doesn't fit, unfortunately. How about this? Now this is dictionary page, but it's from a totally different dictionary. Look. Things are sticking. I read Buenos Aires on this, so we're in the bees. Bees section. Good. It's got a little picture on it. Kind of like that. Be interesting to see where that shows up in the finished product. All right. Okay. There. Done and done with this part of the equation. Now, I'm going to grab the one that I already did, and we're going to start phase 2. And if you could feel the way I can feel this from the one I just set aside to dry, just that amount of time made a huge difference. Okay, I'm going to move my glue book. Try to. And on to the next part. Okay, so book page 12 by 12. Here's the back. What's next? Stencils. So I've got some stencils here. I've got my from PM Artist Studio, and it's Hexagon Dreams. I love this stencil. This I got a really long time ago, and I think I got it from the dollar store. But it's letters, it's the alphabet, and there's some numbers on the bottom. And then I've got a piece of punchinella or sequin waste, and we're going to do some gesseling. So acrylic products that are liquid, you need to give them a shake. You just do. And I'm going to go ahead and use my mat here that I've got underneath for a, oh, there, got it, for a little palette. I've got a sponge, and I'm going to just start making marks. I want to remember the edges and the corners. That's something I tend to forget. And I don't want it just soppy wet, so I'm stamping out a little bit on that palette-y thing that I'm using, because I just want a little. And I'm using, this is really, I think, a mask more than a stencil, but I'm using it like a stencil, and it's fine. Use what you have. You know, maybe you've got some, like a potato bag or a fruit bag of some kind that's kind of in that netty mesh. I've used that. It makes great marks. Great marks. I've seen Carrie the Crafter, and I think Gayle Agostinelli use, it's like some type of a, I don't want to say paper, but let's not turn it. Let's keep the wet paint all in one area. I want to just get this corner. It's like what you put in your shelves to keep things, you know, like shelf liner. Now, I know you probably can even hardly see what I'm doing, but it's there, trust me. It's just the white going through, and I'm not worried about, you know, great quality in this, but, you know, I want the stamping or the stenciling to show, but it's not going to show yet. Can use this again. If I'm overlapping a bit because I can't see, that's okay too. It's very okay. And I might be going outside the edge. That's all right. Don't let these things stress you. I'm going to turn this just to make it a little easier. And I'm going to put these letters on here. Why not? Let's do it again. Good. Yep. I'm going to give this a turn again. And I think I'm going to go in here. I'm trying to avoid my little area where I've got the gesso. And I'm going to go all the way at the bottom of my work. I hope I'm on my work. I think I am. You may not be able to see me. I'm sorry. Okay. And maybe a little more. This, I can see it. Deco Art Andy is what this says. So I got this from Deco Art. It's quite robust. It's one of the thickest stencils I own. Again, I've had it for years. A lot of times I get stencils, no kidding, from like Michael's in their clearance area. Sure do. And for art like this, I'm not that concerned about what the pattern is. Not always. I mean, I think that I have, you know, I get kind of an artistic flair. I'm tilting my head around, trying to just see what do I already have and where do I need some more. As I say, I'd rather even have some overlap a touch than have too big of a space where I don't have any gesso. The white gesso is very transparent when you use it like this. Now, if I used a regular brush, I would say you lose 50% of the transparency that way. And if you put a second coat on most anything, you will obliterate what's under it. So versatile, very versatile. Oh, why? This is the second time that I've had a video going and all of a sudden the sun just decides to come out for the first time. But we're just going to live with it and keep going. I like this Hexagon Dreams. It makes some really pretty marks. All right, again, I'm just kind of tilting my head, looking for some blank spots. And some places the gesso is going to be a little heavier than others. And when we do our next step, that will just make a little bit of a difference in how the sprays work on it. So, and we're not spraying like big sprays that you need to go outside or toss it in a box. We're not doing that kind of spraying. So I don't think you're going to end up spraying the kitchen, the husband, the dog. I think you'll be okay. All right, now I'm just going to give this a quick tilt. And I see a pretty big blank space right here. Where did my, there's so little left. All right, I think we've got this pretty good. I really do. Yeah, okay. I'm going to set this one aside, and we're going to do the same thing on this one. And again, this has dried quite a bit in just that amount of time. I'm going to put some more gesso on my worksheet here. And I'm going to use the same stencils as I started out with. Why not? Trust me. Here, I say that and then I'm changing my mind. Trust me in that no two are alike, you know? All right, so I want to stomp this out just a little bit so I'm not having big, heavy gloops of paint. But if you do, it's okay. I'm just being mindful of time right now and drying. It would not be uncommon for me to do something like what I'm doing and then just let it sit overnight. But I don't have that luxury right now. I want to be able to show you the the whole schmo if I can, at least on one. We won't get them cut out. It's definitely going to be too wet for that. And it's just too hard on the trimmer. Okay, switch it up a little bit. And I'm getting my Hexagon Dreams. I will link where I got the Hexagon Dreams, which is PM Artist Studios. And if you're looking for some beautiful digitals, I've got two collections there. One's a summer and one's a autumn. Don't mind the self-promotion. Hey, but you never know. It's kind of like coupons. They keep repeating the same coupons because you never know when someone wants to get a perm in their hair or get their roots done. It's not something people do every week, but when you need it, well, you're going to start looking for that coupon, right? I would. Not ashamed to say it. Of course, I haven't colored my hair in years. I'm just living the gray. And I really don't mind it. Because the gray is just so overtaken my hair color that unless I get my roots done about every 2 weeks or do them myself, which I'm not brilliant at, you just end up looking like you didn't take care of yourself at all. All right, I'm going to put some of this down here. Let's get some letters. And numbers. I'm going to go all the way to the edge. So if I'm out of the frame, I apologize. I'll tell you, it's not easy with the 12 by 12, but if I just scooch over a little bit, I know I'm into some gesso, but I don't care if the back has a few gesso marks. That's just fine. I'm going to add some more letters. And there's some numbers, or these are like punctuation marks. Okay, now I think we just have kind of this area that still needs some work. Let's get Hexagon Dreams here. I need to add a little more gesso. Goes a ways, but I think we're losing our sun again. Not sure. It was supposed to be bright, sunny all day. Well, that didn't work out, but living so close to Lake Michigan, they can't always predict clouds and, things like snow. I can remember listening once. I hadn't lived here very long. I've only lived here 2 years, but I hadn't lived here very long. And the weatherman said something to the effect of, we'll either have 2 to 12 inches. And I was like, can you narrow that down? No, they can't. They really can't narrow it down. It is unpredictable with the lake effect snow and rain that we get. And of course, the clouds are related to that. Okay, I think we've got this one nailed. Let's see. I'm going to give it a tilt and see if I notice any. Yeah, I think we've got that pretty good. All right, going back to the first one. Now, it's very dry. Gesso dries quick. Now, I think I'm going to just take this paper towel, put it over that gesso spot. There's really not enough to kind of scrape up or anything like that. And I'm going to get a paper towel for our next step, and I'm going to try to get us centered again. Now I've got a couple of colorways here, and I think I'm going to go with the yellow. Now this says that it's lemon zest, but I also had pure sunshine, and they were both so low that I mixed them together. So I'm not sure, but here's where I have fun with this. Got my paper towel ready. I'm going to give it a squirt, and now I'm going to rub it. And you can see where the gesso is, and it just gives it such a cool look. But can you see what I mean? I'm not like, you know, spraying nuts and then where you feel like you have to go outside. I'm just giving it a little bit of a spray. Now the book page is very absorbent, so it just grabs these sprays, but the gesso not so much. And so that's how you get kind of a different result. And if I don't get the whole thing covered in spray, that's all right. That's all right too. Okay, now I've got another spray here that I was going to use on both. This is a Tim Holtz, and it's a shimmer. It's called Decay. It's pretty dark, but the shimmer in it is just something else. So I thought, well, let's just give this maybe just a little bit here, there, here, there. Okay, I don't. You can really see the gesso with this. Yep. Put some even where we have some. And the shimmer is just beautiful. And you know, instead of being a silver shimmer, it's gold. It's a gold colored mica. So it's pretty cool. I like it. A little more over here. Okay. Let's go back to the yellow. Now that my paper towel has some ink in it, I can go here, there, where I haven't necessarily sprayed, but it will still deposit some color. Up here. Now, if anybody else has done this technique, I've not seen it. Doesn't mean it's not out there, but I've not seen it, but I love it. Pretty masterboard, don't you think? Tell me you love it. Aw, you say the nicest things. A little more green. It's a lot more green. A little more green here. Okay. All right. I think that looks stupendous. I'm going to bring it up a little closer for you, and I hope that you can see it just a little bit. Maybe you can catch some of the shimmer. I'll hold it still. Okay. You know what? Let's do the other one. What do you say? If it's a long video, oh well. All right, I'm closing these guys up. I think I'm going to leave the one that's called Decayed. Now this is totally different. I can't even tell you who made it. Oh yeah, Creative Expressions. It's called Avocado. This was an ink that you were supposed to use like to mimic doing like vegetable dyeing. It came with a drip top, and I put a squirt bottle top on it, and it just fit right on from one of my used up spray bottles. Now the yellow is because I took it from one of the yellow ones, but that's fine. I love it. And it even came out some in this pure sunshine and some in the other color. What was the other color? Lemon zest. Oh, I love it. Oh, let's do that again. It's like a rainbow spray. The pink from the avocado color is mixing with the yellow, and now we're getting an orange. Can you see the alphabet pop up? I hope so. All right, let's get some of this distressed. I'm giving this a little bit of a agitation here. You can hear the Ranger put some BBs in there, which is great. All right, let's give this a little, that's a lot, but that's okay. We'll just work a little faster. Okay. Now let's grab one of these other colors. I've got some blue. This is Mermaid Lagoon. It is a Tim Holtz color. Yeah. Now we got some color going here. But I think it looks pretty with what we already have. Let's give him a go again. I mean, I wasn't counting on orange and yellow on this one, but I love it. Totally fine. Okay. And then the other color that I had is, this is another mica. Let's give it a little bit of an agitation here. And this one's called Fortune Teller. I think this was one of last year's Halloween colors. But, I mean, why not, right? This one is showing the splashes of color more than the other ones did. But that's fine. I don't mind that. Good. These will be pretty. But I'm going to put a little bit of this purple in a couple more zones. Not that, you know, we're going to be cutting this up. So what, you know, you're going to see some things in some areas and not see it in others. You know, all the places aren't going to necessarily, oh, sun again. Oh my. I'll tell you, a video with Julie, no way to tell you how to prepare. Okay, I absolutely love this. Can I move something to maybe get some of the shadows out? There. I hope you can see it. I'm going to bring it up close. I think that almost makes it worse when it comes to the shadows. All right, so we made this board start to finish, and we made this board start to finish. Yay! Okay, thanks so much for joining me. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribe. It helps my channel so much. I look forward to seeing you in another video where we cut these up. Bye.